Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two were so enraged, they had to wait for the execution. The vice-admirals tried to intervene, but a drawling voice stopped them. "Whoa there, impressive kid, but throwing your men at the Whitebeard Pirates so early? That's pretty dismissive of us, don't you think?" Below the execution platform, Borsellino sauntered forward, his gaze locked on Marco, who was soaring into the air. In a flash, Borsellino dissolved into light particles and reappeared beside Kurosawa. "You think so?" Buzz, star. A blinding golden light erupted around Kurosawa. Lightspeed kick. Borsellino's foot blazed with deadly light, powerful enough to shatter a skyscraper, aimed directly at Marco. Boom! Admiral Borsellino. Captain Marco. In mid-air, Marco met Borsellino's lightspeed kick with one of his own. A terrifying force emanated from his foot. Marco's face contorted. He gritted his teeth, intensifying his domineering aura. Even with his amplified power, he was struggling to hold his ground. "Kizaru! You bastard! Man, these guys are monsters. Especially Whitebeard's captains." Borsellino smirked, pressing down with his foot, relaxed as could be. Swish, star. Marco was slammed into the ice, creating a deep crater, but he quickly rose again. The blow hadn't done any real damage. "Kurosawa-kun, you've been working hard, take a breather." As he spoke, Borsellino transformed into golden light again. In the next instant, a blinding golden light erupted above Whitebeard. "Yasukani no Magatama. Don't get cocky, Kizaru." "Immortal Thistle." A blue flame figure surged through the golden light. Marco spun rapidly, creating a blue flame shield to deflect the barrage of golden light particles. He blocked it. Admiral Borsellino's attack. Couldn't block Kurosawa's earlier, but now he can block the admiral's. Borsellino, embarrassed after his failed sweep, overheard the comments. "Well, looks like the youngsters are showing me up. Damn you, Kizaru." The phoenix accelerated, swooping down on Borsellino and slamming a kick into his head. Bang! Borsellino blocked the kick with one hand, a smile plastered on his face. "Scary." Marco gritted his teeth, applying more pressure. "You're kidding me." Borsellino was sent hurtling into Marineford, kicking up a cloud of dust and smoke. "Admiral." Amidst the soldiers' shouts, Borsellino flashed out of the rubble as light, his uniform spotless. "Don't worry, I'm fine." He glanced meaningfully at the descending Kurosawa. Kurosawa's purple attack had broken through his Yasukani no Magatama's defense. Had he underestimated him? Borsellino felt a twinge of regret. Meanwhile, barely noticed, a powerful figure plunged his hands directly into the ice. Kazan's ice could resist ordinary swords, so it was incredibly hard. Then, crack, 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 star. With a deafening sound, Jaws held a giant ice block, the size of a small mountain, above his head. "You've gotta be kidding me. He's strong enough to lift that thing." Veins bulging, Jaws roared, "Damn Marines, die." He hurled the giant ice block toward the execution platform. Kurosawa narrowed his eyes. If Akainu didn't intervene, Ace could be crushed. Well, that's one way to go, star. "Hey! You damn Marine, you're attacking my family." Buzz, star. A romantic rose-colored energy streaked through the air. Kurosawa tilted his head, his figure vanishing. Crack, Kurosawa easily dodged, but unfortunately, Ace was affected. Ordinary pirates caught in its path were shredded by the deceptively beautiful rose energy. He dodged it. Vista's eyes narrowed. He had sacrificed power for speed to create an incredibly fast attack. Is that shave? No. Even Navy vice admirals can't dodge that. Shave. Kurosawa curled his lip, eyeing the bearded swordsman. Bounty of 884 million berries. Not bad. Oh. Talking about my bounty. You want my head? Vista sneered. Kurosawa just smiled faintly. As they talked, Jaws' iceberg was about to crash into the execution platform. The giant vice admirals guarding the platform panicked. "It's too big. We can't stop it. What strength? That's Whitebeard's 3rd Division commander, Diamond Jaws, that even the 10-meter-tall Vice Admiral looked like an insect before the iceberg. You're all backing down. Sengoku's orders didn't include you, gurgle gurgle, starred at a red figure rose from a chair beneath the platform, thick arms turning to molten magma, the temperature skyrocketed, distorting the air. It was the extreme heat of the magma fruit, one of the deadliest natural powers in the world of One Piece. If no one's guarding this place, how can we explain it if we get attacked by pirates? Sakaski's magma right arm expanded. Great eruption, a magma fist the size of a giant smashed into the iceberg. Puff, to everyone's shock, the incredibly hard iceberg began to melt. In a breath, the supergiant iceberg vanished as if it never existed. As expected of Admiral Sakaski. That iceberg. It melted instantly. Wait. What's that? A red light pulsed on the magma fist. At its peak, it exploded, turning into lava fireballs that rained down on the battlefield, each one packed enough punch to destroy a pirate ship. Boom boom boom, the battlefield became a vision of hell as the fireballs landed. Looks like your attacks aren't very effective, the firelight reflected in Kurosawa's face, making the darkness in his hand seem even more sinister. Playing with swords in front of me? You should worry about yourself, arrogant brat. Vista scowled, turning into a blur, roses blooming in his wake. Kurosawa's 6 eyes flashed, clearly seeing the needle-like sword energy hidden in the rose petals. One sword style, air slash. Rose waltz, clang, star, the blades clashed, creating a scattering of roses and blue waves. The ice surface shattered, crack spiderwebbing outwards before exploding. Crack, crack, countless ice fragments flew into the air as, Vista's face showed his shock. Your swordsmanship has reached the level of a great swordsman. What? He's a devil fruit user, right? How can he be so skilled in swordsmanship? And so young. His potential is terrifying. However, there are different tiers of great swordsmen. Kid, your swordsmanship is still too green. Vista quickly recovered, but noticed Kurosawa's smirk. He instantly felt uneasy. There was something off about this kid. Captain Vista, I'm here to help. You're the one attacking my captain, kid. Someone shouted and charged forward at top speed. Vista tried to stop him but was rooted in place by an unknown force. Something's definitely wrong with this kid, star. Don't come any closer, Fossa. Fossa, captain of the Whitebeard Pirates 15th Division, was confused. Ritual art, air slash. A blue sphere of light appeared between Kurosawa and Fossa. Horrifying gravity pulled Fossa towards Kurosawa. At the same time, Fossa was paralyzed and could not move. Art, release. Kurosawa gripped his sword, formed a seal with his free hand, and slashed at Fossa. The cursed slash carrying countless ice shards crashed into Fossa. Bang, shwa, star. Fossa became a bloody mess, his blade reduced to fragments. Kurosawa looked at the shocked Vista, mouth agape. Don't get in my way, ding. Congratulations to the host for killing Fossa. Obtained a bounty of 100 million. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding. Congrats to the host for killing Fossa. You've scored a bounty worth 295 million berries, star. Not far away on the ice, raging blue curse energy clashed with dark red and black curse power. Ice fragments, pulled in by Tsang, turned into a swarm of razor-sharp blades, tearing Fossa's body apart beyond recognition. In the blink of an eye, Fossa, captain of the Whitebeard Pirates 15th Division, feared throughout the New World, was dead. Captain Fossa. No way. Captain Fossa is dead. The pirates, who had been sure of victory when Fossa charged Kurosawa, expecting an easy takedown in a 2-on-1 fight, were stunned. The outcome was the opposite, a swift, decisive kill. What kind of monster is Kurosawa? Amidst the shock, Kurosawa, facing the furious Vista, smirked. Can't handle it. You relic of the old era. Vista's forehead throbbed with veins, and the tight fabric of his sleeve strained against his bulging muscles, buzz buzz buzz, flowing sword energy and domineering presence swirled together, feeding energy into the two blades. The roses of the sword glowed brighter. Relic of the old era, huh? You're gonna pay for that, kid. Vista's eyes burned as his twin swords clashed repeatedly against Kurosawa's darkness. The vibrations intensified, and sparks flew, clang clang clang, Kurosawa narrowed his eyes, when his vision suddenly detected a burning hot wave plummeting from above. A massive fireball of magma blazed across the sky, leaving a trail of black smoke as it hurtled towards Kurosawa and Vista. Kurosawa smirked. I'll deal with you later. With a flick of Kurosawa's left hand, Tsang, fresh from finishing off Fasa, surged towards Vista. The intense gravity shattered the ice, creating a spiky ball of ice fragments. An attack like that would leave even a tough Navy vice admiral reeling, let alone a nimble swordsman like Vista. Magma fireball incoming. Get out of the way. Captain Vista, watch out above you. The Whitebeard Pirates, still reeling from Fasa's death, could only shout warnings to Vista. Two attacks, one red, one blue, were coming at him simultaneously. Vista, a seasoned veteran and top swordsman, quickly assessed the greater danger of the descending magma fireball. The ice ball was the more immediate threat. Think you can take me down with you, punk? You're still wet behind the ears. Vista swung his arms, his flower swords tracing a gorgeous arc. Red rose sword energy vibrated with power, blasting Kurosawa and his sword into the air. There's no dodging that attack mid-air. Vista sneered at Kurosawa, as his rose sword energy tore through Kurosawa's defensive magic. Now Kurosawa was relying solely on sword energy and Hawkeye to defend himself, but it wouldn't hold for long against Vista's sword energy. In less than a second, the rose sword energy would rip through Kurosawa before the lava fireball hit. But, Kurosawa smirked, and Vista knew something was wrong. Did this kid have a backup plan? See ya. The moment Kurosawa spoke, his figure vanished. What the heck? Vista was stunned. He couldn't understand how Kurosawa had escaped his rose sword energy, disappearing with unbelievable speed. No, not the time for that now. The next moment, the magma fireball and Kurosawa's blue ice ball landed together. Boom. Red and blue light exploded, the intense heat and freezing gravity engulfing Vista. Kurosawa reappeared in the distance, ignoring Vista. The system hadn't notified him of Vista's death. He's a top-tier swordsman, alright. Taking Akainu's attack head-on and surviving? Far off on the Moby Dick, everyone had witnessed the whole exchange. Whitebeard frowned during the brief fight. That kid is bad news. Then a huge fireball of magma hit Whitebeard in the sky, and the latter's expression remained unchanged. Duong. Whitebeard shook his left hand, and the domineering aura surging in his body finally expelled the dark purple curse power from his body. Then he held Kasugawa Chris with his right hand, and the surging domineering aura and vibration power gathered at the tip of the knife, and stabbed directly at the magma fireball. Bang. Kakaka. With a deafening explosion, an invisible blast of wind mixed with the domineering vibration power shattered the magma fireball. Whitebeard blew out the burning flames. Whitebeard looked at Sakazuki on the execution platform with a confident smile. Hey lava boy, you should go light the candles on my birthday cake. Sakazuki also looked confident. Old man who's half paralyzed, would you like a luxurious funeral? Whitebeard didn't answer, but looked around the battlefield. The war was shifting, and not in his favor. Kurosawa's attack had wounded him and hit morale hard. Only the captains were holding their own. Elsewhere, the tide was turning. Whitebeard frowned. The war had only just begun. If things kept going this way, no, he'd been careless. Whitebeard saw the kid who just attacked him was now targeting another of his captains. You nearly killed Fasa with one move. Is that not enough for you, you marine brat? Gururara. Whitebeard roared, rage twisting his face. With a huge leap, he shot into the air. Whitebeard's cape billowed behind him. His eyes shone with terrifying power gathering in his left fist. Sons! Get out of the way. The shout shook the pirates. Pops is moving. Get clear. Marco kicked away a vice admiral. Is Pops angry? On the execution platform, Sengoku stared at Whitebeard rising up, his face twisting. He's going to do it himself already. Whitebeard. Alongside his shock, Sengoku was excited. They might take down the enemy leader early, all thanks to Kurosawa. Wait. Whitebeard's target was Kurosawa. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The gloves were off. On the ice, Kurosawa had already taken down a few blindside pirates and locked onto his next target, Speedo Kill, captain of the Whitebeard Pirates 14th Division, with a bounty of 456 million berries. But just as Kurosawa was about to strike, a sudden chill ran down his spine. What was that? Kurosawa looked up and saw cracks spreading rapidly across the distant sky, with a massive figure behind them, Whitebeard. All soldiers, brace yourselves. Whitebeard's attacking. From the execution platform, Sengoku's voice boomed through a den mushy, sending a wave of fear through the marine ranks. The world's strongest man was making his move. Who was he targeting? As panic spread, a golden beam of light shot across the battlefield, aimed directly at Whitebeard. Almost instantly, a blue flame intercepted the beam. Bang, Borsellino kicked Marco on the wing. That tickles. Marco sneered. Don't be such a drama queen. Borsellino drawled. Instead of helping put out the flames, Marco was busy playing defense. Kurosawa's eyes narrowed. Then, as Whitebeard's fist connected, the sky itself seemed to buckle inward like a stretched tarp, forming a massive, elliptical bulge, crack spiderwebbing across it. The force unleashed a devastating shockwave. Boom boom boom. The raw, untamed vibration mixed with the air to create a visible shockwave, a tsunami of power roaring towards Kurosawa. Kurosawa! Yuashashin yelled in alarm. Even at full speed, he couldn't reach him in time. Besides, even if he did, he'd be facing the full force of Whitebeard's attack, a guaranteed disaster. Boss! Miguel's face was grim. This was Whitebeard's power. Sengoku and Garp both gritted their teeth. Garp's fists clenched tight. Was this where the Navy's rising star would fall? Below the platform, Sakazuki watched Whitebeard's attack, choosing not to intervene. As an admiral, he had to consider the bigger picture. When facing an enemy's all-out attack, you had to play it smart. Wait for an opening, and then strike the killing blow. Blindly charging in would only reduce their chances of victory. For that reason, Sakazuki was willing to sacrifice a promising rookie to maximize the overall benefit. Kurosawa, your sacrifice won't be in vain. Boom. The sheer force felt like the sky was collapsing. The pressure alone was enough to slow down his thoughts. Kurosawa stood his ground. Now he understood why so many powerful pirates didn't bother dodging big attacks. They simply couldn't. Maybe some were blessed by fate, but that didn't apply to him. He wasn't completely helpless yet. A glint appeared in his blue eyes. He was about to teleport away when an ice-blue figure stepped in front of him, radiating a bone-chilling cold. Even without being directly targeted, the cold was enough to slow Kurosawa's energy. Ice Age. Kazan's face was set in stone. His hands turned to ice, unleashing an even more intense wave of cold than his usual Ice Age. Crack, crack, crack. The freezing ice collided with the powerful shockwave, actually freezing the vibration's aura, but the ice shattered almost instantly under the relentless force. The two energies clashed, and it was clear that Kazan's ice was losing. Whoa there! Kurosawa, you better get out of here. I'm about to bail. Kazan's face was already starting to turn into ice. The pressure was too much, his ice was about to shatter. Kurosawa didn't hesitate. In a flash, he teleported out of range, hopefully. Man, you're fast. Seeing Kurosawa gone, Kazan's body immediately turned to ice. The next moment, the Ice Age collapsed without his support, and Whitebeard's weakened but still devastating attack slammed into the battlefield. Boom! The massive energy wave crashed down like a tidal wave hitting the shore, sending out ripples of force in all directions. Buzz, the ice shattered, and countless Marines were caught in the blast. The shockwave instantly crushed their organs and shattered their bones. Anyone below the rank of vice admiral was instantly wiped out. In the sky, Borsellino glanced down, his expression unreadable. Yikes, that's not ideal. Marco, still facing him, smirked. You can't mess with the man who made my dad angry. He's our king. Sakazuki's gaze narrowed as he watched Whitebeard smiling in the sky. Sengoku sighed in relief seeing Kazan save Kurosawa, but couldn't help but lament the widespread devastation. Whitebeard, even after all this time, your power is still so overwhelming. Garp sighed as well. Kurosawa, you're not ready for Whitebeard yet. Glad you're okay, Huashishin muttered, raising an arm to shield himself from the wind, his eyes filled with apprehension. On the ice, a guy with a shield in one hand and a spear in the other braced himself. Speedo Kill felt the strength of the wind. To create such a powerful gust from this distance. I can't imagine what it would be like to get hit head-on. He really lives up to his reputation as Dad. Speedo Kill smiled, unaware of the black-haired figure behind him. A dark red light flashed, and darkness pierced through Speedo Kill's body. His eyes widened in horror as the curse power surged wildly, spreading the agony of hell throughout his body. Before he could even scream, his eyes shifted from terror to despair. The blood-red curse power spiraled and condensed on the blade. Kurosawa's voice whispered behind him, like a devil in his ear. Spell reversal H, puff, star. Speedo Kill's body convulsed. A stream of red light burst from the darkness blade and shot towards Whitebeard. Whitebeard, descending from the sky, turned and saw the red light emerging from the smoke at incredible speed. The light grew larger in his pupils. For a split second, he caught a glimpse of blue eyes staring at him through the smoke. The next moment, the red light pierced Whitebeard's chest. Marco's enraged roar echoed across the battlefield. Dad! Chapter 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The guy was dead. Just broken. Ugh. Speedo Kill's vision blurred, Whitebeard's shocked face twisting in his sight. Death rushed through him, numbing the hellish pain. Ding. Congratulations, host, for successfully killing Speedo Kill. Bounty acquired, 45,600 out of 100 million. Dad. Who attacked? No one mourned Speedo Kill. The pirate's eyes were glued to Whitebeard above. A red beam ripped through the air, leaving a gaping, bloody hole in Whitebeard's shoulder. Boom! The beam kept going, only exploding violently far away after piercing through Whitebeard. A bead of sweat trickled down Whitebeard's forehead. The pain made him want to wince, but his will kept his face composed. Whitebeard landed with a thud, kicking up dust, his eyes locked on Kurosawa, a faint smile on his face. Gurara. The shockwave blocked the view, but sharp-eyed fighters still saw what happened. Doflamingo chuckled. Boa Hancock's beautiful eyes widened, her mouth slightly agape. Whitebeard's attack was clearly aimed at Kurosawa. He faced an attack from Whitebeard, one of the four emperors, yet he not only survived unscathed, but capitalized on Whitebeard's opening to counterattack and even used the chaos to kill one of Whitebeard's squad leaders. Boa Hancock's eyes shone. She'd never heard of anyone like him. Bartholomew Kuma couldn't help but admire the speed, the power, finding that opening so fast, and the raw strength to pull off a sneak attack like that. Even I. Hawkeye Mihawk's eyes narrowed, trying to see everything about Kurosawa. This kid. I can't even read him. On the ice, a chunk solidified into a human shape with a snap. Who? Akiji exhaled a frosty breath, his eyes full of praise. Good job, Kurosawa. Vice admirals like Kama were watching too. One, who'd just fought Speedo Kill, thought. Speedo Kill's dead, just like that. Captain of Whitebeard's 14th Division. He didn't dare say it, but Speedo Kill had been overpowering him in their brief fight, and now Kurosawa had silently one-shot the guy. Did that mean Kurosawa could one-shot him too? Damn, he's just a newbie. How's he so OP? How am I supposed to survive this? Many elite lieutenants felt uneasy. Kama shamelessly grinned. He's a product of my training camp. He just perfectly channels my style from back in the day. Ha! You just lucked out. Has nothing to do with you, calmer. That flying squirrel, nearby, called him out without hesitation. Miguel's eyes shone as he looked at Kurosawa, his desire to be strong surging. His fighting spirit reignited. The boss is so strong. I can't let training camp number 2 look bad. Wah, so scary. Is this the strongest guy in the world? Kobe was terrified by the raw power and sat down, unable to process the chaos of the battlefield. Even though the Navy had an advantage, Kobe's legs shook as soldiers fell around him. Despite her own fear, Belmir tried to help Kobe up. Pull yourself together, Kobe. You want to be a Marine Admiral. You can't fall apart here. Right. Kobe seemed to remember his dream and tried to stand. Seriously injuring Whitebeard, my ass. That's clearly bias from Fleet Admiral Sengoku. There's no way Whitebeard, who just launched an attack like that, was hurt by Kurosawa. I need to buck up. Can't lose to a guy like Kurosawa. Belmir frowned at Kobe's words, unable to argue. Suddenly, her eyes widened. Kobe, get out of the way. Before she could finish, a wild slash passed right by Kobe. Your hand. What? Kobe, confused, felt liquid splatter his cheek. Belmir stared in horror at his right hand, slow to understand. Kobe looked down at his bloody right shoulder in disbelief. Where's my hand? He reached for it and a jolt of pain hit his brain. Ah! Kobe screamed and fainted. Moments before, a man in a gentleman's tuxedo, carrying 2 swords, approached Kurosawa. Kill! Vista watched Kurosawa pull darkness from Speedo Kill's body with an expressionless face, his mood dark. Damn you! You attacked Dad, you cut down Fasa and Kill. Today, one of us dies. Yo, long time no see, but you look rough. Kurosawa smirked at Vista. The latter had burn marks and his tuxedo was tattered. The magma and blue ice attack must have stung. Spare me the chatter. I'm here to take your life. Seeing Kurosawa's expression, Vista took it as mockery. If he'd taken care of Kurosawa sooner, none of this would have happened. His mistakes caused this, and he had to make amends. Rose burst. Vista swung his swords, creating sparks. Sharp sword energy mixed with Hawkeye created a fiery airflow, slashing at Kurosawa. Good speed. Kurosawa said softly, dodging instantly. Vista knew how tough Kurosawa was and that a single strike wouldn't be enough. After the flying slash, he rushed forward, fast as he could. Dodge this. Then you're wide open. Vista's eyes shone with confidence. He used his experience to predict Kurosawa's landing spot and closed in. This blade will be your end. Rose will. Kurosawa looked at the sharp sword energy and smirked. While you're attacking me, your captain seems to be having a hard time. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was getting hammered. Vista, who had been so resolute, wavered. He glanced to the side, his pupils shrinking. Whitebeard was taking a beating from Kizaru, Akainu, and Akiji all at once. On the execution platform, Sengoku's eyes lit up. Whitebeard's furious attack had backfired, leaving him open for Kurosawa to injure him. Kurosawa taking out one of Whitebeard's captains wasn't the point for Sengoku. The real issue was that a powerhouse like Whitebeard had exposed himself while trying to get to Kurosawa. And the war had barely begun. Did that mean Whitebeard wasn't nearly as strong as Sengoku remembered? Whitebeard. Father Time catches up to everyone. Sengoku smirked. Maybe Whitebeard would die here today. Dad. Ace choked, overwhelmed. Dad always avoided sneak attacks, even in his sleep. How could he be making so many mistakes? Seeing Whitebeard's impressive entrance, Ace had thought his dad was doing better. Now he realized that wasn't the case. Dad's health was failing fast. Marco, in the air, glared at the unpredictable Kizaru. His mind flashed back to before the battle when Whitebeard had ripped out all his IVs to boost morale. Now it seemed that Dad's condition was deteriorating much faster than they had anticipated. "Oh my, that's a little surprising. Young man." Kizaru grinned, "You seem a little distracted, pay attention to me." "Don't get ahead of yourself, Kizaru." Marco's feet became sharp claws, burning with blue flames and a powerful aura, kicking Kizaru in the gut. Phoenix Talon. Clang! Kizaru blocked the blow with a shining golden sword, completely resisting Marco's hockey-infused claws. A gust of wind erupted from the collision, whipping Kizaru's coat. Sword of Heaven. Kizaru spoke slowly, but Marco sensed a shift with his observation hockey. Kizaru was getting serious. Marco's eyes narrowed. He had been distracted by the battlefield and noticed the fiery red figure had vanished from below the execution platform. At the same time, an ice-blue figure was moving quickly. Ikiji was after Dad. One admiral would be bad enough, but if Akainu joined in, it would be a disaster. Besides Sengoku, who could see Whitebeard was struggling, the top admiral sensed the shift in battle. Now was the perfect opportunity to take Whitebeard down. On the ice, a rapidly approaching ice spike hurtled towards Whitebeard. Pirates caught in its path were instantly frozen into ice sculptures, helpless. "Akiji, you brat!" Whitebeard, unfazed, watched the ice spike approach. He raised his Murakumajiri in his right hand and swung it down. Buzz! Boom, crack, crack! A shockwave sliced through the ground. Kazan, calm as ever, would have easily avoided Whitebeard's attack, gliding over the ice in his elemental form, but hundreds of Navy soldiers were behind him. He could dodge, but they would die. Alright, Ice Saber. Two massive ice blades materialized instantly, colliding with Whitebeard's shockwave. Crack, crack. The ice sabers shattered, and the shockwave faltered. Kazan's attack was temporarily halted. Whitebeard was about to grin when he felt intense heat above him. Looking up, he saw a molten lava ball hurtling down, about to incinerate everything. "Whitebeard, you're going down." Sakazuki gritted his teeth, his lower body transforming into molten lava. His right fist, imbued with the power of a falling star and a deadly aura, exploded towards Whitebeard's head. Bang! Chi! Whitebeard's arm muscles bulged. His Murakumajiri blade, crackling with vibration and hockey, collided with Sakazuki's fist. Boom! Red and white energies clashed, dividing the world. Under the surging vibrations, both men braced against the force, Sakazuki especially, overwhelmed by Whitebeard's vibration. Whitebeard wasn't comfortable either. The lava's intense heat was scorching everything, rapidly melting the ice around him. If this continued, he would end up in the sea. While Whitebeard fought the two admirals, Marco tried to help, but the normally lazy Kizaru turned serious. "Quit looking around." Buzz! Golden light flashed as Kizaru wielded the Kusanagi sword, crackling with energy, sending Marco reeling. Kizaru didn't stop, kicking out at light speed. Marco knew Kizaru couldn't interfere with the fight against Whitebeard at this moment, so he had to shield the others. Bang! The energy explosion was deafening. Marco, relying on his phoenix flames, withstood the damage and wasn't blasted away. "How long can you hold out?" Kizaru pressed on. His sword flashed as he slashed off one of Marco's wings. Turning into light, he reappeared above Marco. He condensed a massive laser beam and fired. Buzz! The attack pinned Marco to the ground, causing a violent explosion. With that done, Kizaru took a deep breath and flashed towards Whitebeard. "Protect Dad!" Marco, rising from the rubble, shouted as soon as he recovered. The Whitebeard pirates were stunned. "The admirals are beating up Dad. Help him." "Where are the captains?" "I'm on it," Jozu roared, moving surprisingly fast for his size. He slammed his feet into the ice, using the recoil to launch himself forward. Like a cannonball, he shot across the ice. The other Whitebeard captains showed their skills, rushing to Whitebeard's aid. Suddenly, the navy was under immense pressure. The war was reaching its peak. Seeing Whitebeard surrounded, Vista couldn't stand by. He suppressed the urge to attack Kurosawa, turned, and charged toward Whitebeard. Kurosawa smirked. Everyone was focused on Whitebeard. That meant people like Marco and Jozu, who could keep him busy, were occupied. The other captains were no match for him, and they were so busy protecting Whitebeard that they were vulnerable. Now was a great time to collect bounties. Opening the system panel, Kurosawa looked at his upgraded bounty and smiled. Time to hunt. At the same time, a massive figure crashed into the inner bay of Marineford, shaking the ground. Ace, I'm here to save you. Chapter 46. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle raged, and things were going from bad to worse. The atmosphere of war was intense as increasingly fierce attacks pummeled the battlefield. On the execution platform, Sengoku frowned, his unease growing stronger. It seemed like the plan to execute Ace early needed to be reconsidered. Outside Marineford, the Whitebeard Pirates' massive fleet was about to clash head-on with the 50 warships guarding the bay. Inside the bay, Whitebeard had already made his move, quickly gaining a significant advantage. Sengoku's mind raced. As the Navy's top commander, he had to make the right call, fast. Sweat beaded on Ace's forehead. Staring at the distant battlefield, his face looked even worse than when Blackbeard defeated him. Dad! Damn it! This is all my fault. I'm too weak. Seeing his former crewmates falling one by one to save him, and his respected father, Whitebeard, surrounded by the 3 admirals and in danger, Ace regretted his recklessness. Sengoku, watching Whitebeard struggle, decided he couldn't miss this chance to corner him. He grabbed a den mushi and barked into it. Everyone! Do everything you can to stop the Whitebeard pirate captains from reinforcing. Create opportunities for the admirals. Kill Whitebeard now and show the world the Navy's power. Yeah. Hearing Sengoku's command, 100,000 naval elites roared in response, their eyes burning with unprecedented intensity. Sengoku, satisfied with the reaction, thought. Kurosawa, that kid, thanks to you. He shifted his gaze from Kurosawa, picked up another den mushi, and spoke decisively. Pacifista, deploy. Faced with the rapidly changing battlefield, Sengoku's decision was, all in. Meanwhile, in Mary Gios, the 5 elders received the news as soon as Sengoku gave the order. Satan, the god of science and defense, frowned. Using the pacifista so soon? But the situation is fluid. We'll have to trust them a little. The other 5 elders remained silent until the god of finance spoke, focusing on a different matter. This Kurosawa, he's something else. After this battle, there will be even fewer people in the government who can keep him in check. The god of finance stared at Kurosawa's dark red blade on the screen, greed flashing in his ancient eyes. The others could guess what he was thinking. If we can't use him, the Navy's rising star performed admirably in the battle against the Whitebeard Pirates, but unfortunately succumbed to a hidden injury and died a hero. What do you think? Around the world, the massive war at Marineford was being broadcast live via the Navy's video den mushi. The main areas showed it on large screens, while the nobles got an ultra-clear 1080p feed. This war that could reshape the world was playing out for everyone to see. Is this the strength of Navy headquarters? It's insane. Those legendary 3 admirals are terrifying. They're holding back. And that new Navy star, his fighting power is admiral level. Yeah, this Kurosawa is even more dangerous than we thought. Did you notice he was the first to wound Whitebeard? And he's already taken out 2 Whitebeard captains. He's going toe-to-toe with Marco and Vista. On a giant tree in the Sabaody archipelago, Rayleigh's eyes were glued to Kurosawa. Ever since Kurosawa unleashed that virtual style, every move had been efficient and devastating to the Whitebeard Pirates. Rayleigh murmured, he not only forced Whitebeard to act early, but he also found a weakness to injure him, and indirectly restrained Marco and Vista. Wow! The more Rayleigh thought about it, the more alarmed he became. If he'd been worried about the end of the great pirate era after Kurosawa's rise, that he was worried, now he was sure. Captain Roger, is the tide of the times against us? What is that thing? Are you kidding me? He's bigger than the giants. Is that the legendary island pulling oars, a demon? Boom! Boom! With a deafening crash, Little Oars Jr. lumbered closer, wearing a giant straw hat. His skin was dark green, and he was so huge that even the giant vice admirals looked like children next to him. Ace, I'm here to save you, Little Oars Jr. roared, glaring at the warships nearby. He reached out his massive hand, ignoring the horrified stares of the Navy soldiers. His tough skin didn't even flinch against the guns and cannons. Fire! Fire! No matter how many shells exploded, they didn't slow Little Oars Jr. down. Crack! Grabbing a warship the size of a hill, Little Oars Jr. swung this typically pirate-frightening weapon and smashed it into another warship. Boom! A single move caused devastating damage to the Navy. Demon Little Oars Jr. Bounty 444 million berries. Let the giants handle him. Led by Lakulova, several giant vice admirals charged at Little Oars Jr. The giant vice admirals wielded giant blades. They'd always relied on their size as an advantage, but now they were being outsized. Come on! You demon! Kill him! Little Oars, amid the shouts, Lakulova attacked first, shattering the ice beneath his feet as he leapt into the air, swinging his giant blade. No giant can withstand my sword. Die! The blade flashed, but Little Oars Jr. just smirked. He swung his own giant blade. Clang! The force of the blow sent shockwaves up Lakulova's arm. He looked stunned. You're stronger than me. Before Lakulova could recover, Little Oars Jr. unleashed a series of blows. Clang! 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 Crack! Lakulova's giant blade shattered into pieces, the fragments sent flying by Little Oars Jr.'s overwhelming power. With Lakulova staring in horror, Little Oars Jr. swung a final, merciless blow. Vice Admiral Lakulova, there was no time to mourn. Seeing what had happened, the other giant vice admirals charged forward, but the result was even worse. They were all swatted away with a single swing, unable to withstand even a second blow. Little Oars Jr., you're too weak to be my opponent. Watching Little Oars Jr., Moria grinned, especially after seeing him mow down the giant vice admirals. His expectations had reached a fever pitch. He. Demon. My demon. With such a perfect body, I'll be unstoppable when I make you my ultimate zombie. Bartholomew Kuma stared at the bay and stepped forward. It's our turn. Boa Hancock, dressed in purple robes, sat on her python. Let's go. I want to see that man in person. He actually hurt Luffy. Unforgivable. Chapter 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle raged on. Of the 5 warlords of the sea, only Mihawk and Doflamingo were still on the sidelines. Damn it. Mihawk, are you gonna make a move or what? Are you just gonna stand there and watch? Doflamingo chuckled, strolling forward with his hands in his pockets. This brutal war was making him itch to show off his skills. It was time to get in on the action. Mihawk remained silent, but his gaze kept drifting towards Kurosawa. He was curious to see what surprises the young man would bring to the battle. He took down those giant vice admirals with a single strike. What kind of monster is he? This demon. It'll probably take a full-fledged admiral to deal with him. But the admirals are busy with Whitebeard, and the elite vice admirals are tied up with his captains. They can't break away. Terror gripped the Marines. The giant monster before them, so massive they couldn't see all of him, felt like an unstoppable natural disaster. Relief washed over them as Little Oz didn't target them. Little Oz's eyes locked onto a spot where a black-haired figure mowed down pirates like grass. With a heavy step, Little Oz charged towards Kurosawa. Billion-level bounty value, 76,700 points. System, give me some points. Studying the array of skills on his panel, Kurosawa still decided to level up Natural Fighter first. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully injecting 50,000 billion-level bounty value. Natural Fighter upgraded to LV4. Natural Fighter, LV4 perfectly combines and utilizes abilities at or below this skill level in battle. Skills of the same level receive a 75% bonus. Low-level skills receive a 150% bonus. Compared to the previous 25% bonus per level, the jump from LV3 to LV4 was a whopping 50%. And skills of the same level now had a huge 75% boost. Those bonuses were nothing to scoff at. If the hollow style he'd used on Whitebeard had had an extra 50%, Whitebeard would have paid a much steeper price than just tattered clothes and residual cursed power on his arms. Kurosawa grinned, satisfied. System, keep adding points, ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully injecting 10,000 billion level bounty value. Technique 8 upgraded to LV3. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully injecting 5,000 billion level bounty value. Taijutsu upgraded to LV4. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully injecting 5,000 billion level bounty value. Armament Hawkeye upgraded to LV4. Normal bounty value, 3,200 points. Billion level bounty value, 6,700 points. Seeing his bounty value plummet, Kurosawa couldn't help but sigh. Was the crystal he'd worked so hard to get really this fragile? No one knew what Kurosawa was thinking. All they saw was him cutting a swathe through the battlefield, single-handedly plugging a gap in the Whitebeard Pirates' advance. Not a single pirate in the area survived. Kurosawa, that rising star of the Marines, is incredible. No wonder Marshal Sengoku is pushing him so hard. The difference in power between us isn't even close. Amid the cheers of the Marines, Vice Admiral Enigmo, locked in a fierce fight with the commander of the Whitebeard Pirates' 7th Division, noticed the danger. His face grim, he saw the giant monster closing in on Kurosawa. That demon's target is Kurosawa. Damn it, why am I stuck dealing with this guy, Rikuyo? You've shown so much strength already, don't give up now. Kurosawa. Enigmo could only offer a silent prayer. Rikuyo, with his huge iron chain hammer, was proving a difficult opponent. His powerful, wide-ranging attacks were a handful. Rikuyo felt the same way. Why is this Vice Admiral so tough? Pops is waiting for me to rescue him. He then noticed Enigmo's gaze and realized Little Oz was moving to kill Kurosawa. Rikuyo smirked. Want to save him? Just wait until Little Oz chops him to pieces. On the execution platform, Ace watched Little Oz approach, and memories flashed through his mind. What if Little Oz were to face the tired Kurosawa? Maybe, just maybe, it'll work. Information about the demon clan flashed through Sengoku's mind. The power of that race was not to be underestimated. Garp, watching from the back, cracked his knuckles. Heh, a guy like that would be good for a few practice punches. Kurosawa, how are you going to handle this? Swish, another casual double kill. Kurosawa turned from Miguel, a smile playing on his lips. He's coming along nicely. Time to work on today's small goal. Miguel was now evenly matched with a pirate with a 40 million bounty. Although he was injured, it was part of becoming stronger. Just then, a voice boomed from above. You're the one who hurt Pops. Before I rescue Ace, I'll take you out, you bastard. A huge shadow fell, plunging the area around Kurosawa into darkness. Colonel Kurosawa, watch out. Ignoring the Marine's warnings, Kurosawa calmly looked up to see Little Oz swinging his massive machete. Kurosawa grinned and vanished. Let's start with you. Boa Hancock, riding her snake, cleared any obstacles in her path, be they Marines or pirates. As she approached Kurosawa, she witnessed something unforgettable. How did that demon attack Kurosawa? Nearby, Moria screamed, his face a mask of shock followed by elation. He was already making plans for the future. If I can work with the demon to kill or badly injure that bastard, then steal his shadow and make him into the strongest zombie. I'll be the strongest warlord of the sea. Moria was about to unleash his shadow to attack Kurosawa, however, the joy on his face vanished in an instant. Ritual 8. Buzz. Dark red light exploded, and blood sprayed from the demon's neck, gushing down like a waterfall. Ding. Chapter 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sword flashed, cleaving clean through. Whoa. That was one powerful strike. He actually took down that demon's head with a single blow. I never knew Colonel Kurosawa was such a badass with a sword. No wonder he could hold his own against that flower sword Bista. Under the stunned gazes of countless Marines, the giant demon's head went flying, its face frozen in an arrogant sneer. Little Oars. Little Oars got his head chopped off. No way. Blood splattered across the pirates' faces, a gruesome spectacle like a giant evil spirit weeping blood, then dumping a scarlet wine jug at the feet of ants. Kurosawa hovered in the air, his blue eyes coldly scanning the pirates below. To them, Kurosawa looked like an arrogant god of death. Even the lower-ranking captains, some with bounties nearing 80 million, were shaking in their boots. Their morale was collapsing. Still gawking around? Roaring, Miguel seized the chance and took down a distracted pirate in one swift move. Thanks to the sheer terror Kurosawa inspired in the Whitebeard Pirates, Miguel finally had a breather. You're incredible, boss. The same scene played out across the battlefield. Because Kurosawa had instantly offed Little Oars, the pirates' will to fight plummeted even further. Now, the ordinary Marines were steadily gaining the upper hand against the pirates. Looks like you're the ones who need a body bag. Vice Admiral Enigmo blocked Rikuyo's hammer with his vibrating sword. Rikuyo's face was twisted with rage over Little Oars' death. Alright, now I can focus on you. Enigmo said coldly, his domineering presence beginning to explode like a jackpot. The other vice admirals also capitalized on the pirates' shock, launching a fierce offensive. For the first time, the tide of the war was turning in the Navy's favor. Ha ha ha. Kurosawa, you magnificent bastard. Even I think that was a cool move. Garp pumped his fist, a rare smile spreading across his face. Ace and Luffy are such knuckleheads, but Kurosawa, you're gonna be the greatest Marine ever. Garp had decided, he would do everything in his power to ensure Kurosawa thrived within the Navy. You son of a bitch. You actually killed Little Oars. I swear, if I ever get my hands on you, I'll grind you to dust. On the execution platform, Ace clenched his teeth in fury, his eyes burning holes in Kurosawa. If looks could kill, Kurosawa would have been dead 1,000 times over. Fleet Admiral Sengoku, who had been observing everything, was both surprised and delighted by the impact Kurosawa had on the battlefield. One strike to kill the demon. That slash, his swordsmanship has improved even more since that day. This kid. What else does he have up his sleeve? With a deafening crash, the giant demon's head landed on the ice. Its immense weight smashed a deep crater into the ice below. He-ya. That jerk actually lopped off the head of my strongest zombie. Moria's eyes instantly turned bloodshot, but when his angry gaze fell on Kurosawa, the glint of the dark blade snapped him back to reality. How the hell did that punk's swordsmanship get so terrifying? If I had been hit by a slash like that day. Moria shuddered, recalling their encounter. The old wound on his arm twinged, and a look of fear crept into his eyes. Forget it, I'll let him live. Hogback can sew the head back on, and we can use it again. Fufufu. Taking down the demon with one strike, this is getting interesting. Doflamingo strolled across the battlefield, hands in his pockets, drawing the attention of many pirates. But anyone who tried to approach him soon found themselves inexplicably turning on each other. The unique power of the string fruit gave Doflamingo an unparalleled ability to manipulate the chaos of the battlefield. Good thing I'm not facing that guy, or I'd have a real headache. Doflamingo turned his gaze from Kurosawa and spotted a captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. Let's play this boring pirate game. Mihawk stood with his arms crossed, his eyes showing undisguised admiration for Kurosawa. That slash was something even a top-tier swordsman couldn't easily pull off. Kurosawa's progress was exceeding even his wildest expectations. He knew it wouldn't be long before he had another worthy rival besides Shanks. Mihawk couldn't help but recall Kurosawa's words to him, and his anticipation grew stronger. I'll be waiting for you at the top. That kind of slash. Boa Hancock's eyes turned cold. Kurosawa's strike that killed oars, she'd seen Rayleigh use a similar technique. Regardless, anyone who lays a hand on my beloved Luffy will pay the price. You crazy broad. Aren't you one of the 7 warlords of the sea? Why are you attacking our own forces? A Marine yelled at her, seeing Boa Hancock petrifying both Navy and pirates alike. Boa Hancock ignored him, petrifying another Marine with a swift kick. She tilted her head back and looked down on everyone with her truth. Whatever I do, I will be forgiven, because my beauty is unmatched in the world. Oh my, darling. Since everyone is dead, I guess I have no choice but to forgive you. Yeah. What else can I do besides forgive? The Marines succumbed one after another. Boa Hancock looked down on men in her heart. A bunch of losers. Only Luffy is special. While that Kurosawa is undeniably dangerous, even if I can't beat him, he certainly wouldn't hurt me. In the end, he'll be captivated by my beauty. Boa Hancock was utterly confident. After all, no one had ever attacked her after she'd shown them kindness. That's what made the Pirate Empress so sure of herself. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating Little Oars Jr. Acquired 44,400 billion level bounty value. Billion level bounty value, 51,100 points. With the enhancements from LV4 Natural Fighter, LV3 Technique 8, and LV4 Armament Hockey stacked, even if it wasn't perfectly combined with LV5 Kendo, lopping off Demon Oar's head was still fairly easy. Excellent, I have to say, short of a large 4 Emperor's pirate crew, you probably won't find this many pirates with bounties exceeding 100 million in one place. Kurosawa slowly descended to the ground, his eyes sweeping over the Whitebeard commanders one by one. Now, in Kurosawa's eyes, they weren't just notorious pirates, but walking, talking treasure chests. Kurosawa felt a surge of excitement, barely able to restrain himself from claiming their bounties right then and there. I should save my strongest moves for Whitebeard. It will be difficult to succeed if he is on guard. Compared to Whitebeard's 546 million bounty and these hundreds of millions, Kurosawa knew which was more important. You brazen scoundrel. Take this. Perfume kick. Chapter 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A gust of wind, thick with fragrance and raw power, swept through, a beautiful but dangerous attack. Kurosawa's icy gaze locked onto the approaching leg. His blue eyes flickered, quickly assessing that his armament hockey wasn't strong enough to completely block the petrification. Dumbass, he roared, raising a palm. A blue-white energy ball formed in his hand. Spell forward, Azure. Bang, the Pirate Empress's Cheongsam swirled around her long legs. Boa Hancock was showing a lot of leg right then. Kurosawa finally understood something. Whether it was her devil fruit ability or just her natural beauty, Boa Hancock could easily distract people, even in battle. Too bad for her, he wasn't one of those people. Boa Hancock didn't seem to care either way. Her beautiful eyes were filled with cold disdain. Why did you call me a dumbass? Did you just insult me? Huh. Looks like you're not just stupid, you're also a little deaf. Kurosawa smirked. Boa Hancock's face hardened instantly. She was shocked. Aside from Luffy, could there really be another man who wouldn't fall for her charms? No way. He had to be faking it. It was just a trick men used. She just needed to use some simple moves to expose him. With that thought, Boa Hancock regained her composure. Stop pretending. In front of me, all men are the same. Kurosawa didn't care what she thought. In the middle of the massive battlefield at Marineford, for this woman to suddenly appear before him couldn't be a coincidence, it had to be because of Luffy. That's right, by now, she should have been tamed by Luffy. Bang! The blast from his Azure technique forced them apart. Boa Hancock adjusted her Cheongsam, revealing her long, white legs. Head high, chest out, she was the very image of power. Soon, you'll surrender to me and atone for your arrogance. She drew back a pink arrow, ready to fire. Kurosawa was speechless. Killing Boa Hancock wouldn't help him at all. Not only was the pirate empress strong, but killing a warlord of the sea didn't come with a bounty. Even if there was a bounty, it would be like asking him to waste time killing Marco, who only had a bounty of 89 million berries. No thanks. He'd have to wait for the policy changes that stripped the warlords of their title and put bounties on their heads. By then, he'd be head of the Navy Bounty Department, ready to reap the rewards. That was the real plan, but that didn't mean he had to put up with Boa Hancock's crap now. You seem pretty proud of being an old lady. Do that again, and I'll kill you. Kurosawa's words hit hard. Boa Hancock was stunned. Her life had taught her to recognize truth from lies, and Kurosawa's words felt real. He really would kill her. The murderous intent he was radiating felt like she'd be instantly crushed if she made a move. How could this be? Was he really not charmed by her beauty? Was he immune? Impossible. Besides Luffy, there was someone else. No, that couldn't be. Her mind raced. Luffy had still been impressed after seeing her naked body. Kurosawa wouldn't be able to resist that either. If she used that move on him, he'd fall at her feet. No one, except Luffy, could resist her punishment. With that thought, Boa Hancock smiled again, a captivating, seductive smile. Ding. Congratulations, host, for triggering a random lucky life choice. Lucky life choice 1, the Empress's wound. Conquer Boa Hancock through combat power, physical strength, and psychological warfare. Reward, upgrade Conqueror's Haki to LV6 or 1 level higher. Lucky life choice 2, the end of the Empress, no time limit. Kill Boa Hancock. Reward, 100,000 million level bounty value. Lucky life choice 3, the fall of the Empress, defeat Boa Hancock, crush her pride, complete her humiliation, and finally tame her. Reward, evil temperament plus 100, super hardening, old max, all attacks inflict abnormal sensation 500%. Kurosawa stared at the choices before him, lost in thought. Boa Hancock scoffed, hands on her hips. Humph. All talk. If you're so tough, come back to Amazon Lily with me. Her words were met with an even more intense, dangerous aura, filling every fiber of her being. Boom. 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 Just as Boa Hancock was reeling, a shocking sound erupted from the distant battlefield. All eyes turned to the source, where a geyser of red shot into the sky. The heat was so intense it visibly warped the air. Magma and fire rained down, as if a fiery hell had been unleashed upon the world. Gurgle gurgle. Whitebeard, you've brought in so many useless sons, and now it seems you're about to lose. Akainu's entire body had transformed into magma, his eyes fixed on Whitebeard. Whitebeard felt the scorching temperature. His battle robe was already soaked with sweat. If not for his immense haki protecting him, he would have been cooked alive at this distance. He had already witnessed the devastating power of the magma. Even at his peak, he couldn't defend against such destruction with just armament haki. Awakened devil fruit, monstrous physical power, and the rising star of the navy who had injured him, he was the cause of this war's downfall. This was the navy of the new era. Whitebeard glanced across the battlefield. Kizaru and Akiji were temporarily held off by Marco, Vista, and Jozu, but the commanders were clearly exhausted. It wouldn't be long before the admirals joined the fight again. The navy forces had been suppressed due to Kurosawa's actions, which had momentarily turned the tide for the pirates. Gururara. My sons, it's not your place to point fingers. Despite the dire situation, Whitebeard laughed. His muscles bulged, unleashing a world-shattering tremor, amplified by his incredible haki. Kaka. Cracks spread rapidly across the surrounding area. Even Akainu, in his magma form, felt a wave of immense pressure. On the execution platform, Sengoku's face was grim. Whitebeard is going all out. Whitebeard knew that rescuing Ace would come at a heavy cost. Everyone, listen to my orders. Charge the execution platform with everything you've got. I'll clear the way. That there was no time to mourn Orza's death. The pirates were fired up again, charging toward the platform. Dad! Ace! Hold on. It'll be over soon. Boom! That the world shook as the strongest man in the world unleashed his full power. Kurosawa's eyes flashed. So, it's starting now. That would this reverse the situation, or accelerate the destruction? Chapter 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The enemy was panicking. Near Whitebeard, waves of intense cold and blinding golden light alternated, mingling with blue, ethereal flames, razor-sharp rose sword energy, and the indestructible diamond Jozu. The Whitebeard Pirates deployed 6 captains to intercept Gion and Borsellino. Crack, crack, crack. Countless cracks spread rapidly from Whitebeard's position. With his order, the entire battlefield was about to explode. Brace yourselves. We're too close to Pops. He's about to cut loose. Marco shouted to the other captains, panting. Zing! The friction between Flower Sword Vista's blades threw off sparks. After tangling with 2 admirals, his once pristine tuxedo was rumpled. Is Pops taking over? Then we just need to push forward. Diamond, charge! Diamond Jozu roared, his entire right half transforming into flawless diamond. The terrifying muscles, honed by countless battles, flexed as he surged towards Kazan with blinding speed. Kazan, sensing the attack, instantly activated his devil fruit ability, turning his body into an intangible element before Jozu could land a blow. Bang! Crack! Kazan's form shattered into countless ice shards. Jozu glared aside, frustrated. Damn Admiral! This power is a pain in the neck. Captain Blenheim of the 9th Division gasped, let's hold here for now. Pops is going all out. The remaining 3 captains nodded, chests heaving as they fought for breath, even with 6 against 2, and the fight brief. Facing admirals was pushing the Whitebeard pirate captains to their absolute limit. Any longer, and the consequences could be dire for the Whitebeard pirates. Nearby, ice rapidly coalesced into Kazan. His gaze locked onto Whitebeard, cold and calculating. Oh man! That's just too much. Yeah. And those guys are fearless, it's freaky. Borsellino's fingertip focused light into a laser. He could have fired instantly but aimed with agonizing precision for 2 full seconds before unleashing it. Swish! Marco flashed, leaping into the air. The laser shot past his feet and obliterated a dozen pirates behind him in a deafening boom. Rumble! The space around Whitebeard fractured. The sheer force of his quake powers finally overwhelmed reality, and it shattered like glass. All of Marineford rocked violently, as if on the precipice of a massive earthquake. On the execution platform, Sengoku's face contorted in fury. Whitebeard, you bastard! Don't you care about anyone's lives? Ace, kneeling, was shocked. He'd never witnessed his father unleash his powers on such a scale. Even from this distance, he felt a chilling dread. Sengoku grabbed a den mushi and barked, everyone, adjust formation. That man is going big. Go, Pops. Show those Navy guys what invincible looks like. The world's strongest's wrath. Make the Navy tremble. The pirates roared, their ferocity shaking the Navy's morale which had been steadily building. What's happening? Why is the ground shaking? Is it a tsunami? But judging by those pirates, Whitebeard must be behind it. Garp sat in the back, watching the tremors ripple across Marineford, and sighed. I wonder how many Marines will die because of this. Nearest to Whitebeard, Admiral Sakazuki bore the brunt of the pressure. The crushing quake force felt like a relentless tide. Just breathing had become a struggle. A vice admiral would have been crushed to death by the pressure before getting a chance to react, but Sakazuki smirked. Whitebeard, you bastard, aren't you worried your precious son will die? Gurara, you don't need to worry about my sons. You should be worried about yourself first. Whitebeard grinned, and Sakazuki's expression froze. Time seemed to stop in Marineford for a split second, and then. Boom! The waves of power originating from Whitebeard swept across the battlefield. This terrifying energy was so intense that it condensed into a visible force field, expanding rapidly. Marineford vanished in a blinding white light, even temporarily cutting off the real-time projection from the Den Mushi. All battles ground to a halt, including Kurosawa and Boa Hancock's. The violent tremors spread rapidly, causing many powerful figures to lose their footing. Only masters of physical prowess could maintain their balance. Boa Hancock, aided by Salome the Snake, held her ground and didn't reveal any weakness in front of Kurosawa. Kurosawa cursed inwardly. Upgrading his Conqueror's Hawkeye to level 6 was extremely tempting and worth way more than the 100,000 bounty points, but in the current situation, time was of the essence, and the 100,000 points were a substantial reward. What is with this guy? Is his physical ability that good? Even I'm a little off balance. Boa Hancock watched Kurosawa dash away, and thought. He's heading into the heart of the tremors. Is he looking for death? Little did she know that with his 6 eyes and natural fighter skills, Kurosawa's combat capability was at its peak in any situation. And that was a necessity to becoming a top-tier fighter. Mihawk watched Kurosawa. With Whitebeard making this move, he wanted to see how Kurosawa would react. Now, he saw that Kurosawa was darting through the tremors. While others fled from Whitebeard, Kurosawa went against the grain and charged toward the source. Excellent. No matter the circumstances, you can maximize your power. Kurosawa, you should be able to challenge me soon. Mihawk's hawk-like eyes narrowed. He eagerly anticipated the day Kurosawa came for him. So, who's your next target? Mihawk smirked, curious to see what Kurosawa would do in this war. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully injecting 50,000 points of the billion-level bounty value, under the cover of Whitebeard. Invisible Slash was finally unleashed.